So welcome everyone to our Bhagavad Gita group. We're going to be, of course, doing some Gauranga chanting, Jai Gauranga. So, most of you know that the golden incarnation of Krishna, Gauranga, appeared just 500 years ago, just over 500 years ago. So we're very blessed to be here at this time, because as a result of his appearance, we are entering a golden age. A golden age. Lots of happiness, lots of smiles, lots of love. So, when Lord Gauranga appeared, of course, he did all kinds of miraculous things, amazing things, which have been recorded by the great saints. And so these are called Leela. Leela means the Lord's activities. His activities, of course, are all transcendental, above this material world. So they're very good for us to hear about them, because in that way we become attracted to the Lord and the transcendental world. So we will later on be reading a chapter from Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of Vedic literature, which is what they call the undergraduate study. After that we get Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the graduate study. After that, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is the life and pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And there's also a lovely book here which I'd like to read from, called Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, which is by Srila Vedavyasa Thakura, which also is about the pastimes of Lord Gauranga. So I'd just like to read one very sweet pastime. When he was a child. The Lord plays like a child, although he's eternally the Lord. He, for the pleasure of his devotees, he plays the part of a child, so that we can love him in that way. So this is about one of the Lord's childhood pastimes, Gauranga. One day, two thieves saw the Lord roaming about the streets alone. Seeing his fine ornaments, they conspired to steal them. One of the thieves picked up Nimai, that's another name for Gauranga, is Nimai, saying, oh dear, while the other joined him, saying, where have you been for so long? Come quickly home, dear, the thief said. The Lord smiled and replied, yes, let us go home. Busily the two thieves sped away with the Lord in their arms, while the onlookers in the street ignorantly thought that the rightful guardians had taken their own child. Teeming thousands of people were on the streets, therefore who could know everyone? Meanwhile, the thieves were happy to see the valuable ornaments upon the child. Overtaken by greed, the thieves were imagining their great riches, thinking they would now surely steal the golden bangles. They carried him upon their shoulders towards their hideout, while the Lord rode along, chuckling to himself. One thief passed a sandesh, which is a kind of sweet, into the Lord's hand, while the other said comfortingly, we have almost reached home. The thieves had kidnapped the Lord and run far away. When the Lord's relatives realized Nimai, Gauranga, was missing and began to search for him. Vishvambar, come home! Nimai, where are you? They shouted. Everyone grew frantic and restless, like fish out of water. In distress they remembered Lord Govinda, while far away the thieves carried Nimai towards their hideout. Deluded by the Supreme Lord's illusory potency, Maya, the thieves mistook their way to their den and arrived instead at the residence of Sri Jagannath Mishra, Lord Gauranga's father. The bewildered thieves thought they were in their own house, so they busied themselves in trying to remove the Lord's ornaments. Get down now, we are home, said the thieves. And the Lord replied, yes, yes, put me down. Inside Sri Jagannath Mishra's house, everyone was sitting around with their heads in their hands in utter despair. The beguiled thieves took the Lord down from their shoulders, thinking the house to be their own. As soon as Nimai was on the ground, he ran straight into his father. A joyous uproar shook the house as the relatives loudly chanted, Hari, Hari. An understandable transformation overwhelmed the people, and as if life had returned to their bodies. The thieves realized that the house was not their own, but they could not recognize where they were. Taking advantage of the commotion, the fearful thieves stealthily left the place without being noticed by anyone. Reflecting on this strange and wonderful incident, the thieves thought, who is playing tricks with us? Chandi Devi, Goddess Durga, certainly saved us today, they said after regaining their composure. They then embraced each other. The thieves actually gained immeasurable piety and good fortune because they carried the Supreme Personality of Godhead upon their shoulders. In Sri Jagannath Mishra's house, the happy relative asked, who brought the child back? We should offer him nice gifts and the silk turban upon his head. Another said, I saw 2 persons come with the child, put him down and leave, but I do not know in which direction they left. Everyone was surprised that whoever had brought the child here back did not stay to be acknowledged. They turned to Nimai and asked, our dear child, tell us, who brought you back? We are puzzled. The Lord replied, I went to the banks of the Ganga, but I lost my way home and was roaming about in the town. 2 persons took me in their arms and brought me home. Hearing this story, everyone said, the words of the scriptures are never wrong. The unseen hand of Krishna always protects children, old persons and the helpless. Being bewildered by the Lord's illusory energy, Maya, the relatives thus conjectured in many different ways. The Supreme Lord performed his wonderful pastimes in this manner. No one can understand them without the Lord's direct mercy. Whoever hears these narrations, which are a mystery even in the Vedas, can easily get undeviating devotion at Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. I, Vrindavan Das, offer my humble song at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, who are my life and soul.